All right, how about this one, Shane? Missouri on the road at number 5 Tennessee. Then Vols, Shane, favored by 20.5 points at home. The over-unders 57 total points. This game kicks off at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on CBS, nationally televised. Last season, Shane, Tennessee won 62-24 in Columbia. Worst loss Eli Drinkwitz has ever suffered as a head coach. The all-time series, how about this, though, Shane? This is another one of those series where everybody looks down on Missouri. They suck. They don't belong in the SEC. Well, hell, the series tied 5-5, so maybe don't talk down to a team you know historically you've not even beaten more than they've beaten you. But Tennessee has won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Do they make it 4? And how about this, Shane? I don't know if you saw this, and I don't mean to call this guy out because he's a great follow. He does a hell of a job. He used to own Football Time in Tennessee, the magazine, the website. Reed Carringer. I'm just calling him out just because I saw his and I interacted with it, but I've seen this from basically all the Vols all week. He says, Tennessee scored 62 on Missouri. Pretty sure they'll do a lot more than that this season. Basically, it was something like that. But basically, everybody thinks they're going to steamroll Missouri. Right. Do you think they do that this week?
No, I don't think they steamroll them. I really don't. And I don't want to discourage Vol fans, but you are coming off a huge game, a letdown with the Georgia Bulldogs. There's some of that's carrying over. We've talked about it for 3-4 days now. Don't think the players haven't seen it on their social medias. You get caught looking in the rear view and thinking about the mistakes you made, and then you come out not as confident. And that's one of the things that's so good about Hooker is his extreme confidence with these receivers. He was putting balls out just throwing dimes that, a coach would like squint, like, I can't believe you're throwing that damn pass. But he just had so much confidence that it was going to be there, and it worked. So I would expect there would be a little bit need to be built back up to get that, because you were hurt last week, and there was a lot of hesitancy in his throwing. Mm-hmm. He was afraid to pull, so I know I'm getting all worked up, but this game worries me a little bit, Mike. It's a nooner, Yeah. You got Mizzou. It's a good defense. A lot of people don't give it credit. You don't give Mizzou credit on defense until you're playing them. Mm-hmm. Go ask Kentucky how good this defense is. Go ask Georgia how good this defense is. Everybody they've played, South Carolina, hell, go ask them. Every time they play, then we walk away and say, I can't believe Mizzou won that one, or Mizzou kept that one close. Well, they're keeping it close because they're really good defense. And you think that they didn't watch any of the tape last week that Tennessee and Georgia did, and they're not going to try to exploit some of those mistakes that the Volunteers. There's going to be more pressure in that game, in that backfield, than any game Tennessee has seen this year. So part of me has them a little worried. Now, I will say this. I don't think Mizzou and Georgia are the same. And I do think Tennessee's got a great offense, and they've got an excellent opportunity to win out and go to a college football playoff. So I still think that this Vol team has got the pieces to get there. But don't be surprised if there's not a little bit of a slow start here, Mike. We saw it earlier this year with that unranked team. I don't even remember the name of that ball club that came in, but it was 7-7. There's going to be a natural little bit of a letdown, and don't be surprised if you look up and Mizzou's up 10-0.
Yeah.
But Tennessee is one of those teams, once they start clicking, you cannot stop them. So that's what Eli's going to do in company. He's going to do everything possible to keep Tennessee's offense off the field, and I think he's going to be successful. But the problem that Mizzou's going to run into is the cook. The cook is up, he's down, he's all around. He's already came out here and said he's already heard a hostile environment over there at Williams-Brice Stadium. So it's a noon game, but this place is sold out, and they're going to be yelling, and there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of excited fans because it's the last time we get to see them at home, some of these players. So it's going to be a cool, awesome atmosphere. It's going to be nice and cool too. It's going to be, I think the temperature drops down to 45 at kickoff or 50, something like that.
They're saying it might rain. That was the excuse last week, Shane.
I don't think it matters, Mike. So I'm not gonna ramble too long. I think Tennessee, once they start clicking, Mizzou's not going to be able to keep. They're going to have to play a flawless game, and once Tennessee gets going, it's just again they're going to run away with this thing. But I think it's close. The spread on this thing's 20.5. I've got Tennessee winning 35, Mizzou 17. So I like Mizzou with the points, but I think Tennessee pulls away late in the third quarter with this one.
You know, I didn't realize something till just this morning. Shane, one of our listeners, reached out. Did you know Missouri, they are 18 points away from being undefeated in the SEC? How crazy is that?
No, that is crazy.
And hell, that you could swing at both ways. I'm sure, they're not getting it done in close games, certainly. We all know that, but when you lose that many by such a slim margin, but at the same time, that gives you an indication, that gives you hope that if you can start clicking a little on offense, maybe you can win some of these ball games. You got Dominique Lovett. He's in the top 5 in SEC receiving. You got Luther Burden. He's one of the most dynamic freshmen in the country. You got some running backs you can trust, and Pete is a big one. You got the Cook, who, yes, I realize, like you said, you just don't know which Cook is going to show up, but when a good Cook shows up, Shane, he is tough. Nearly won you that ball game last week against Kentucky. Probably would have if not for that damn punt that we don't need to rehash here. And like you said, Tennessee, how will they respond? Everybody's saying all the right things, Shane. This team they're locked in, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if they start pressing? I didn't even hear you say that, Shane. They have got to win, and they have got to win in impressive fashion for Hendon Hooker to be winning the Heisman, or at least a finalist, for Tennessee to make that push to the playoff. And they have not been in this position before for, playing it late in the season. Again, you beat Missouri by 10 points, they'll probably drop you in the playoff poll. Whereas going into the season, if I would have told you they beat Missouri by 10, I would think 100 out of 100 Tennessee fans would take it, because a win is a win in conference play. And like you said, this defense, my God, people don't understand how good it is. And imagine, Shane, if the offense was not leaving them out to dry, how good the defense would look. So it's probably even better than we have imagined. And like you said, the blueprint's out a little bit, but I guess you could swing at both ways, because Missouri sure as hell does not have the defensive talent that Georgia has, but they do know how to attack this this Tennessee offense. Some of these receivers, they struggled against Georgia. And again, Missouri doesn't have the DBs Georgia has, but get physical with them, push them at the line of scrimmage, lock them up, try to go man to man. That could be a real issue. So I think, like you, I think it's going to be a lot tighter ball game. Would not even stun me, like you said, if Missouri leads early. I think it's paramount, Shane, that Tennessee starts quick, because that's what they've always done under Josh Heupel. But what do all these coaches say about Tennessee's offense, Shane? Everybody looks at these passes and these receivers, and Hendon Hooker's having a great season. He deserves all the respect, but it's really based on the ground game.
Yeah.
And that's what they trashed Missouri with last season. Well, Missouri's got they're number 16 in the country, Shane, in stopping the run, rushing efficiency. So I think if they can muck it up there against Tennessee, this is going to be a lot more difficult than people realize. I say all that, Shane, to say Tennessee is going to win the game, but I like Missouri and the points. I'm going Tennessee 38, Missouri 20. And really, Shane, honestly, if I had more confidence in Missouri's offense, I may even pick them to win this game. I really would. But I just got no faith in them to do much. They may have a hot quarter or two, and Tennessee's offense, I may be overreacting to one poor performance. If they heat right back into gear, they could blow the doors off Missouri. But I think this is going to be a tight ball game that Missouri covers that spread.
That's my feeling this game, Mike. That either A, it's going to be a close, tough fought ball game, or B, Tennessee just beats the brakes off of them. And so I could see any scenario, and it truly comes down to a couple first downs. It comes down to Tennessee just getting that momentum, building that confidence, getting Hooker out there, and not second guessing his arm. And if he does that, brother, Tennessee can put up, they could put up 40, 50 points on these guys. And then, he's right back in the Heisman race and the college football playoff talk. But, Tennessee can't afford sluggish games. I remember we said this about Texas A&M a few years back. They had an opportunity to sneak into the college football playoffs if they had some sexy wins on their resume. Well, they didn't. And Tennessee cannot afford to have the same situation. They have got to have sexy wins here on out. And a one-kick field goal game against Mizzou, because that's all they're going to look at. They're going to say, okay, Missouri, after this game, even if they win, they're going to say, okay, Missouri is 4-6, and Tennessee, it got down to a field goal. Then that's going to be the ammunition they need if Michigan, barely loses to Ohio State or TCU, or Oregon. That's the one. Bo Nix, the ultimate quarterback, couldn't do it in the SEC, but he's up there killing it. So it's those narratives, and you know how ESPN is, and you know how the media is, and they're going to shit on Tennessee if they have any close games here on out. So they can't afford to do that. So I could see a couple different outcomes here. I just feel like it's going to be a little bit of a slow start, but once Tennessee gets in gear, Mizzou's not going to have enough to bounce back. They can't keep up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Any team you've watched, as soon as you get enough points on Mizzou, I go back all the way to the Kansas State game. Once they got that thing going, it's like they didn't know what to do. So
an avalanche.
It really is, and they're not built for comebacks.